CQ RAYNET, CQ RAYNET. This is call 4 November Romeo Charlie, operated today by Greg, Golf 0 Delta Uniform Bravo, serving as net control for the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net. This net meets each Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time and is open to all amateur radio operators interested in emergency communications. The primary purpose of the net is to provide the opportunity for members to test equipment, exchange traffic news, opinions and information, with additional information on the website at www.raynet-uk.net. This is a directed net, which means all calls are to be made to the net control station unless you are instructed otherwise, and all RAYNET-UK operators are invited and encouraged to check into the net. When you do check in, please announce your call sign slowly and phonetically, followed by your name, and if you wish to leave the net immediately after checking in, then please call in and out. Otherwise, if you want to leave after subsequent turns, please make it clear you want to check out at that time. After I've heard a few check-ins, I'll repeat who I've heard. If you're not acknowledged, then please try again. If you miss your turn to call in, I will call from these strays after the UK and international sections. So I'll now begin taking check-ins to the RAYNET-UK weekly activity net as usual in call sign number order. So any stations with a figure 8 in their call sign wishing to check in, please call now. This is G4NRC.
Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, your name is Phil, in very wet Lincolnshire.
Golf 8 Echo Yankee, name is Mike.
Here's G4NRC, so I've got Phil, Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, and Mike, Golf 8 Echo Yankee. Any other 8s, please? G4NRC, over. For NRC, nothing heard, so let's have 7. Stations figure 7 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4NRC, over. G78, Golf 7 November Echo Hotel. G4NRC, good afternoon Graham, G7NEH, any other 7s please, G4NRC, over.
Golf 8 Hotel Uniform Lima.
G4NRC, nothing heard, so let's have 6s, stations figure 6 in their call please, G4NRC, over.
Good afternoon, this is Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo, G6PD in Ipswich. In and out please, Greg.
G4NRC, good afternoon Chris, Golf 6 Papa Delta Echo, copy you in and out. Any other 6s please, G4NRC, over. G4NRC, then let's go to stations figure 5 in their call sign, please go ahead, G4NRC, over. For NRC, and still with very few 5s issued, let's go for 4s. Stations figure 4 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4NRC, over.
G4XUR, Golf 4 X-Ray Uniform Romeo. Name is David, located in Somerset. In and out at the end of the net. And for information, G8HUL, Hotel Uniform Lima, did call in on the 8s, over.
G4.
Or 4 Kilo Uniform Juliet. Golf 4, Hotel Uniform Foxtrot.
G4 and RC, so I've got David, Golf 4 X-Ray Uniform Romeo, copied you in and out. Put John, Golf 4 Romeo Echo Victor, you called in, didn't actually get your intentions, audio was quite broken, so I'll come back to you in a moment. G4KUJ, G4HUF also acknowledged, so G4REV, are you staying with me or in and out, John, over?
Yeah, hi Greg. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, no problems. Staying with you for one round, over.
G4 and RC acknowledged. Okay, XUR, your comment about GHL noted. He didn't make it through onto the dashboard though, so I didn't see him, and that's what we got the strays for at the end of the call-in. Any other fours, please? G4 and RC, over.
Yeah, Golf 4 India, Sierra November, Andy, let's just share over.
For an RC, good afternoon, Andy, Golf 4 India, Sierra November. Okay, any threes? Stations figure 3 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over.
Golf 3, Zulu Hotel X-Ray, Ian, in and out this week, thank you, Greg.
For an RC, good afternoon, Ian, Golf 3 Zulu Hotel X-Ray, copied you in and out. Any other threes, please? G4 and RC, over. For an RC, then it's onto the 2, stations figure 2 in their call sign, and that includes you intermediate 2s, please call now, G4 and RC, over.
Echo 0 Tango Golf Echo. In and out, Greg. Good afternoon to you.
For an RC, good afternoon, Toby. 2 Echo 0 Tango Golf Echo, copied you in and out. Any other 2s, please, including the intermediate 2s, please call now, G4 and RC, over. For an RC, going to try that one again since there's some 2s calling but not quite the right talk groups. Stations figure 2 for the RAYNET-UK activity period, including intermediate 2s, please call now, G4 and RC, over. For an RC, and the 2 stations just looking their repeaters up. Right, stations figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead. G4 and RC, over. RC, second call stations figure 1 in their call sign, please go ahead, over. For an RC, nothing heard, so let's have Mike 0 stations of any regional secondary identifier, please, over.
Mike 0 Mike, Foxtrot Sierra, Drew, West Devon.
Mike 0 and your Lima Whiskey down here in Lithiumshire, otherwise known as Cornwall, in and out, please, Greg.
It's Mike 0 Golf Uniform Yankee. Good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon, all. I'm just going to be in and out, but we'll listen to the end. Thanks very much.
G4NRC, let's make some sense of this. I've got Mike Zero India Lima Whiskey was in and out, I think. Mike Zero Golf Uniform Yankee was in and out. So good afternoon to you both. Mike Zero Mike Foxtrot Sierra Drew solid call in. Mike Zero Juliet Sierra Alpha only got part of an over. Are you staying with me or in and out, Alan? Over.
Well, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, I'll stay in for the first round anyway. Got some news.
Acknowledged. Then let's have any other Mike Zero stations of any regional secretary identifier. Over.
Mike Zero Juliet Victor Zulu Les from Leicester. I will be in and out but listening.
Mike Zero Juliet Victor Zulu, good afternoon, Les, copy to you in and out. Let's have any Golf Zero stations, please, of any regional secondary identifier. Over.
Golf Whiskey Zero Juliet Lima X-Ray. Good afternoon, Greg. Name is Andy, RAYNET Pembrokeshire. No traffic today, so in and out, please. Over.
GW0JLX, G4NRC. Good afternoon, Andy. Copy to you in and out. Taking my usual shortcut. Any UK stations that missed their turn to call in, please call now. G4NRC. Over. G4NRC for Golf 8 Hotel Uniform Lima, G8HUL, G4NRC. Over. For NRC, no response. So do you have any international liaison stations, usually Nord-Sandland of Norway, Aran and Ireland, Aries in Slovakia, any of our overseas friends on the talk group today? G4NRC. Over. G4NRC, the final call for any station, UK or international, that's wanting to join the RAYNET-UK activity period. Please call now. G4NRC. Over. G4NRC. Right, we have had 17 stations check in. Could have been 3 more if they'd acknowledged. So point out that today's net is being live streamed by Graham, G7NEH, to YouTube today. Past streams and live recordings, or past live streams and recordings, are available by searching for his channel, which is G7NEH, Golf 7 November Echo Hotel on YouTube. This week's net is time constrained and must finish by 16:45. There's a more normal length of net planned for next week. If there's anything needing deeper discussion, I might have to try something interesting to bring the net to a close today, given the number of people we've got up. Groups using temporary repeaters are reminded of the request to log their events and frequency usage in the national diary beforehand and then submit reports using the diary afterwards. This is good practice for coordinating our activities and has been for many years, but this turns into a necessity when we're asked for usage data by the RSGB for band planning purposes and Ofcom for compliance checking, both of which topics are high on my agenda for the next couple of months as the 2025 band plan tries to get sorted out. Groups who use pay-as-you-go data SIMs in Wi-Fi hotspots to enable linking for any internet gateways may need to know that O2 Virgin Media have announced the withdrawal of their pay-as-you-go mobile broadband and iPad SIMs from the 31st of January 25. The appropriate customer management portal is closing on the 17th of December this year, so if you want to have a graceful shutdown and maybe even get a refund for unused data, then please check early. Hopefully, not as too much of an indication of weather to come, but the Caribbean has been suffering some late-season hurricane activity, which led to our colleagues in Honduras, Guatemala, Nicaragua, and El Salvador being activated for Tropical Storm Sarah. Cuba remained active last week, but this time only in a couple of their provinces after responding to an earthquake. Those activities generally require HF frequencies, particularly 40 metres in that area, but doesn't tend to get the publicity it deserves. And finally, note the yellow weather warnings for snow and ice in the north of the country starting tomorrow, and please stay safe. So, what are thoughts from everyone this week? Phil, to you first. Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, G4 and RC, over.
Yes, G4 and RC, G8 KLC. Very good afternoon, Greg and everybody else. Not much to report this week, I'm afraid. It's been fairly quiet. You talk about low power talks, low power repeaters. Obviously for logging on events, but what about some testing? I've been messing around for 2 or 3 days into a very inefficient antenna just to make sure things are working. I want something a bit better than a dummy load. Do you want those logged as well, or can we just put that down as local engineering, getting things to work?
Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, G4 and RC. Ooh, interesting one. If it's operating under one of the MB9 temporary repeater call signs, then please log it, because I do need the numbers to continue to substantiate our use of certain frequencies. We are fighting a losing battle, given everybody else can run repeaters now in the license as well. So, slightly unfortunate, but yeah, please log it, Phil, if you could. If you've got any questions, drop me an email, and we'll figure it out from there. Okay, Mike, Golf 8 Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4NRC from G8 EEY. Well, weather here, 7 centigrade, 1012 millibars, 81% relative humidity, 46% cloud cover, and 9 miles an hour wind from 272 degrees. With sky gone rather black, so I imagine we're going to get some rain. WeatherQuest is showing some possible snow over the next 2 or 3 days, but the original forecast of temperatures going down to -2 seems to have eased off a bit, but certainly heading down that way. Yep, noted. My O2, generally they're all on monthly, not pay-as-you-go. I used to use pay-as-you-go, but quite often they would fail after a while, because they'd be logging basically spam calls, and that affects how they respond, so they generally got cut off. Logging, yes, any tests I do with MB9 calls, or anybody else in the group, they all go in the log. That's the only way that people know we're trying things. From G8 EEY.
G8EY, G4 and RC, yep, sure is. I mean, I've still got to find a way of trawling through every possible report that we've got in the diary to gather the data, but I think I've got a workaround for that. Okay, thanks for that. Graham, how's our viewer numbers looking like? G7 and EH, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G7 and EH. Yeah, good afternoon, Greg. Good afternoon to all on the net. So, viewing figures for last week were 22 views and 1 like. I'll give you an update on this week's viewing figures on the next round. Weather here is actually pouring with rain at the moment, and temperature is 7.1 degrees. So there we go. Yeah, I'll give you an update on this week's viewing figures on the next over. G4 and RC, G7 and EH.
G4NRC. Bad news, my finger slipped off the PTT. Yeah, concur. Raining heavily here. Not looking forward to going out in a little while, but such is life. Okay, John, Golf 4, Romeo Echo Victor, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, good afternoon, Greg and Annette. Yeah, you've got me scrambling to the logs to see what it was I've logged for repeater usage, because I have a feeling that wasn't specifically against which call sign we've used. I shall pick it up later on. Just a point of note on the high power. I don't know whether you've expected me to receive anything by now, but nothing heard. And the only other thing I'm going to comment on is the O2 SIM. We actually use GIFGAF, which is a virtual network on O2, and I don't believe we're having that sort of problem with any cut-offs. Anyway, back to you, Greg. G4REV.
G4REV, G4NRC. Okay, in reverse order. Yeah, I saw O2. I thought, I wonder how many virtual network operators are stuck underneath that. That's just the announcement I picked up off a news site earlier on this week. So whether that's just their in-house stuff and the white label will carry on a bit longer, I'm not sure. It's not like the network's being switched off. However, keep an eye on your messages. High power concur, yeah, nothing you will have heard yet. It is taking a little while for things to get through. It's not the months we were expecting for high power repeaters, but it's not days either. Okay, thanks John. Next to Trevor, G4KUJ, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC in the group, G4KUJ. Good afternoon, Greg and everybody else. Been fairly busy this week, so not done much on the radio front. Nearly finished the report for last Sunday's JS8 IAIU1 exercise. I've had JS8 running on 40 metres this afternoon from about 1 o'clock, and the conditions seem very odd in that I've not seen any identifiable amateur call signs, and about half a dozen others which look very strange indeed, which is interesting because I had the same phenomena last Sunday on the IAIU exercise. So more of that probably offline, but I think there may be some other users, shall we say. G4NRC, G4KUG.
For KUJ, G4NRC returning. I think the glitchy call signs is also a symptom of some very weak signals or distortion. Has been commented on one of the forums, so it's not necessarily piracy or anything like that. 40 metre conditions have been odd of late. We're definitely into the winter season. What I'm running as of 1 o'clock this morning, when I finally got it working, is a spectrogram of everything my SDR gets from 0 to 30 megahertz, just to see how the noise level goes up and down here over time, and you can see how propagation's kicking in and out as well. So when it finishes painting this picture in a couple of days' time, gets a decent amount of data, I'll share it around. Okay, Phil, G4HUF, G4NRC, over.
G4HUF, good afternoon all. Right, a couple of quick comments from this end. First of all, I've received the certificates, which was a significant surprise for me, if nothing else. And the other interesting bit to report is that the ARS, Royal Naval Amateur Radio Society, in their latest newsletter, although I'm not a member, Patricia is, and there was a big article about RAYNET in that. So that was definitely of interest in that respect. Nothing else exciting to report from this end. Rob will get his certificate this evening, and the wet weather here is just as miserable as everywhere else, and with that I have there is one other very important comment to make. Patricia asked me to send you a virtual hug, Greg. So on that note, back to you. G4NRC, this is G4HUF.
UFG4NRC returning. Well, that's a way of bringing a smile to my face on a cold, wet evening. Hugs back to Pat. Hopefully you two stay warm and safe, since you're a bit higher up than we are down here. So while we're expecting some miserable weather, I think it might be a bit worse on your side of the county. I'm very interested in that article in the RNARS newsletter. Is there any chance you could bung a scan across? And also, yes, it was actually quite good, relieving for me as a ZC actually that the long service certs have actually been issued out to the group controller level rather than coming through me as ZCs, otherwise it just slowed everything down getting issued through. Okay, thanks Phil, and hugs back to Pat. We move down to Andy, Golf 4, India Sierra November, G4NRC, over.
Yeah, from G4ISN. Thanks, Greg, and to all listening. Yeah, okay, on the long service certificates that come through, I've received 4 for Leicestershire, including my own, so I'll get the other 3 distributed as soon as, although I've notified the 2 of the other 3 of that fact. The other thing is we're doing some annual maintenance of council LRF locations in the coming week, so we've got that to do sort of midweek this week. And also I noticed, I think you might confirm you've got a call of a 2E0 Tango Juliet Quebec checked in at on the dashboard at 1608 from Leicester Group, but is showing being on the Leicester local net, not on the national calling channel. But whether you actually noted that call there, Greg. Other than that, that's about it from me. Just one quick question is, I know we have a fusion bridge over to DMR on the network. Do we still have a D-Star bridge like we used to have an XLX D-Star bridge at one time? Not too sure on that. From back to you, Greg, from G4ISN. Over.
G4ISN, G4NRC returning. Okay, in reverse order. No, we don't have a D-Star bridge, and we never actually, don't recall us actually having any great anger. In the past, we did look for some funding to try and get one of the big dongles that would convert 4 channels or so at a time, that would have allowed us to have a bit more of a presence on D-Star, but it's never come to anything, Andy, so sorry. Fusion is the only one we're linking to at the moment, not D-Star. The 2 Echo Zero Tango Juliet Quebec was around the same time, because I did see he called on the local net as 2 Echo Zero, not Toby, but another one, 2 Echo Zero Hotel Sierra Victor called in as well, blipped up. That's why I did the second call for any 2s, and they didn't come back to that one, so try and run this as if I am doing it just off the radio from time to time, so although I've got the dashboard to one side, what counts is what I hear. And good luck with the LRF maintenance in the coming weeks. At least you've got some LRF locations to maintain, which we're running out of slightly in my part of Cheshire. Okay, you staying with me, Andy, or dropping out on that one? Golf 4 India Sierra November, G4NRC, over.
From G4ISN. Yes, I'll carry on listening, but I shan't come back on the next time. Greg, over.
G4NRC, so that's an out for you. 7-3s, Drew, Mike 0, Mike Foxtrot Sierra. I finally got all my Arden notes updated. G4NRC, over.
G4NRC M0MFS, well, congratulations on that. Not really a lot been going on here, to be honest. I think I checked my nodes at one point during the week and they were all still alive and talking, but that's about it. I've got a certificate to deliver, which I will do over the next week or so. It's one of the users that doesn't really do email and doesn't really do mobile phones and everything, so I will have to get in the car and drive off in that direction. Other than that, nothing much to add, and I will make it easier for you and drop out at this point from Mike 0, Mike Foxtrot Sierra.
Mike Foxtrot Sierra, G4NRC returning. Okay. Yeah, everything seems to be working. When I was mooching through it last night, I think I had a flaky Ethernet lead which was making the updating process a nuisance. So that's going in the bin rather than just getting investigated. And I can confirm everything I was working through your supernode was connecting fine, so that was a winner. Okay, thanks Drew. See you next week. Alan, Mike 0, Juliet Sierra Alpha, you're the last one on this round. G4NRC, over.
Which rather inevitable I'll be last, because I usually am. I never hardly try, I stand up last. Yeah, good evening Greg, good evening everybody, I won't hold it too long. Just a couple of bits of news, sort of pertinent to what you were saying about repeaters and recalling the usage. We've done two, not one, two user service exercises this week. Wait all this time, two turn up, both in the dark, in the winter. It's all good fun. The first one was with the fire brigade and a local search and rescue group, and the second one was with the same local rescue group, search and rescue group in another part of the county, assisted with forest thief on the second one. Basically passing messages between two distant controls, and we certainly used the GB7 talk throughs on two of them, so we need to be logged that. I'll get on to Ian. Now, both very successful, both lots of things to learn and lots of points, but most importantly, we've really got in well with the fire brigade, so that's all positive. Hopefully that'll grow. And that's it. I won't come back, I'll listen to the end, but won't come back. Have a great evening, Greg. Best 73 to you all.
G4NRC returning. Okay, well that's good. Shame the events rock up like buses, two at the same time, but interesting you actually got them, and search and rescue groups. I'm surprised they didn't bundle it together and make one even bigger search and rescue exercise. Just, I think, a slip of the tongue, but I need to catch it. You think you said GB7 for the temporary repeaters. If anybody's asking for a high power repeater through the RSGB website, other than having checked with me first, so I give you a call sign to add on, would everybody please note these are Mike Bravo 9 call signs for temporary repeaters. Mike Bravo 9 call signs for temporary repeaters. Some people do put GBs on and then it just goes to the wrong place, and then it takes longer to find them and root them out and get them dealt with. Which is why it's better to go back to what we announced back in February, 9th of February even, since it's what's on my mind. Anybody needs those temporary repeaters, please contact permits at RAYNET-UK.net or contact me directly, greg.moslip at RAYNET-UK.net, and we can assign call signs and make the magic happen. So thanks guys, thanks to the last three of you. That means I might be good to get to at the end of this in time. So back to the top of the list, and Phil, Golf 8 Kilo Lima Charlie, G4 and RC, over.
You call me, Jake Chelsea. No, nothing to add, Greg. So I'm doing about 3 jobs at the same time. And yeah, as far as logging is concerned, I'll drop you an email in the next couple of weeks. Wasn't much done. And then I'll go back to using W loads, I think. It might be easier. G4 NRC, G8 KLC.
KLC, G4 and RC, get that. Would have been better in the olden days as well for dummy loads, but actually now, use it or lose it, I think is the phrase I want to say. So let's keep the frequencies active and the usage recorded accordingly. Okay, so through Phil, look forward to the email. Mike, final from you please. Golf 8 Echo Echo Yankee, G4 and RC, over.
G4 NRC from G8 EEY. I think the problem with the high power repeaters is this belief in the word unfettered. I think that should be taken out of the language completely, but that's just my opinion. Just one thing to note, I noticed when I tried to set up an NOV for 146 to 147 that the RSGB are having some problems, but I now see that that is now possible to do again. So I've just renewed my NOV. Just thought I'd mention that. Thanks for running the net, Greg. Look forward to seeing you or hearing you next week.
For an RC, I'm not sure where the unfettered comes from in any piece of paperwork, but yeah, having the restriction on frequencies and having to go through clearance is not what we used to have. But also recall the old talk-through permits did say it was much preferred if everybody stayed less than 25 watts ERP, and the high power ones should have been the exception rather than the rule. But we'll get there. I wasn't aware of any NOV problems on the 146, 147 fronts for a band that seemed to be very short term. It seems to be lasting quite a while now. Okay, 73's Mike. Graham, how are we doing? G7 and the H, G4 and RC, over.
G4 and RC, G7 and the H, returning. Yeah, we've had in total 10 views or concurrently viewing, and no likes as yet today. For those listening to the stream, there seems to be a bit of a ticking in the background. I'm not quite sure what it is. I will have to investigate for next week, but hopefully the audio should be a bit have a bit more punch to it. So there we go. Nothing else to add from this end. So thanks for doing the net, Greg, and we'll catch you in the week. G4 LRC, G7 and the H.
G4 and RC returning. Okay, it's desperate to ask what the frequency of the ticking is. Is it once a second or something more difficult to try and find? Okay, good luck hunting that one down. And fine, not sure I can help on that one. 3 to go, still live on the list. So it's John next, and might give you you will get your piece of paper for the high power repeater. It won't be an NOV yet because they're still trying to agree the NOV wording, but it will be a frequency allocation certificate with more than 25 watts on it and the appropriate Mike Bravo 9 hotel something call sign. But I don't get to send those out, I only get to trigger the process. G4 REV, G4 and RC, over.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned it to you, because I thought that might be your position in the process. It's good to get some idea of the timescales anyhow, so I know roughly what to expect. Okay, thanks for that. All from me really, so I'll say good afternoon to everybody on the net, and just listen through to the end. G4WE, go ahead.
G4REV, G4NRC. Yeah, it's definitely in the weeks, not months category, which is what we were afraid of. But I'm wondering if there's something coming back around the requirement to understand how many are actually active, and how many repeaters have said they're going to come up and might not be there. So that's why I'm bothered about making sure we show frequency usage. Okay, thank you, John. Trevor, a final from you, and looking forward to the JS8 call report from the other weekend. We do have a teleconference coming up, not next weekend though, is it? G4KUJ, G4NRC, over.
G4NRC, G4KUJ. Yeah, okay, Greg, I'll make sure you've got the report by end of tomorrow. And okay about the weak signals in JS8. I'll go back through the records and have a look, see if that could be an issue. But I certainly know that one signal that had a very strange ident, which I heard last week, was by no means a weak signal. It was a sort of S9 signal. Whacked the meter up fairly high. But I suppose that could be, a data error of some sort, where it's not being produced properly. Anyway, cheers now, and catch up in due course. G4NRC, and thanks for running with that. G4KUJ.
G4KUJ, G4NRC. Yeah, I don't tend to see too many of them, but I do see them, just not consistently, and certainly not passing any traffic. They do get filtered out on the reporting sites, so it's not even that they get to see themselves painted up on a nice big world map of how naughty they've been. So that's why I suspect it's a technical issue more than a piracy one at the moment. Okay, final words today go to Phil. G4HUF, G4NRC, over.
For HUF, with 3 minutes remaining, I'll better keep it short and sweet. I shall turn the charm on with Patricia to scan that article for you. But you know her, she won't take too much persuasion to scan it and whip it across to you. So I think that's a done deal on that note. And on that note, I've got nothing more to say. Nice to hear everybody on the net this afternoon. Definitely nice to hear your voice. And we'll look forward to the next time. This is G4HUF, clear.
HUF, G4NRC. Well, thank you, Phil. I usually don't get that kind of response at work. Usually everybody hates my voice when I kick off on something. So, thanks for that. Look forward to the scan. No huge rush, but it's nice to see it and see what got said. Maybe I'll elaborate more on that next week when we have a slightly longer net. But meanwhile, thanks everyone for taking time out to participate in this afternoon's net. Do be careful with the incoming bad weather. Have a good week, and until next Sunday afternoon at 1600 hours local time.